This is our GPS, our Generous Provision Sequence. Manatech has many programs. We have systems. We have the M5M system. We have the For Free system. We have the innumerable systems. In terms of how to do the different things, we have those bases well covered. And in terms of the why, not just the how, but the why should I do this? Our flight team comes up with all sorts of good program systems that help people identify their why they want to do this, and why they can do it. Their dream board, their their goals, their accountability. What's kind of been missing is when. What do I do next, and when do I do it? And that's where this sequence can come in handy, because it makes sure nothing falls through cracks. It's very important that we have a sequence so that a greenhorn, somebody who's never been self-employed, which is a different mindset than somebody who's been an employee all their life, where they can know that they have a sequence that'll, in a sense, hold their hand and tell them, okay, now this is what you do next, and this is how you can do it, and that kind of thing. It's found at weeksglobal.com. You can go to Documents, and number 1 is a GPS. You can print it out and start checking out all the boxes, checking them all off as you go. Most of them take 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 8 minutes. If you watch all the different videos recommended, it might be an hour. But they're basically important things that we don't want to overlook, things that need to be attended to, and this simply gives you an idea of when's the best time and the sequence to deal with each one. I start out by telling people we can help 5 different types of people, and have them tell me which category they're in. And then down here, we can help them in 5 different ways. So you can go to weeksglobal.com and click on Documents, print out the GPS, and start going through this. But I want to give you kind of an overview so that ultimately, we hope this will be a blessing to suffering children, Manatech and Mana Relief, your tax burden, you and your wonderful family, friends, and prospects. Don't be intimidated or overwhelmed. There are a bunch of steps. It's about 27, 28 pages, but they're not difficult ones. They're just important ones that you don't want to overlook. If you've never done this sort of thing before, they don't take a whole lot of time, but you need to know how to do a 3-way phone call. You need to have a computer or access to a printer. You need to keep track of your mileage if you want to take those tax deductions, and open a separate bank account so you don't commingle funds, and all these sorts of things that are important. So, but don't be intimidated. Just take it one at a time. You'll find you will move your way through here quite quickly. And if you want to start out, by the way, every time you see something italicized, like a name or anything like that, it refers to weeksglobal.com, either the documents or maybe the videos. Under the documents, you have the general documents, but you also have the GPS handouts. So that's where everything, this is completely self-contained. Everything you'll need is right here at this website. Don't necessarily look elsewhere. It's all here. It's just a matter of finding it, and if something that's italicized, it's probably going to be under the GPS handouts. So BP stands for your blessing period, etc. And so there are 12 things you can do as soon as you open your member account. Even if you're simply wanting to be a product taker, somebody who says, I'll pay for my own products, just leave me alone. I don't want to give anybody my Social Security number. I don't want to join anything. I don't want to build anything. I just want to see if this stuff works. I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I just, check in with me once a month, make sure I'm still on course. But these are the sorts of things they can do while they're waiting for their products to arrive in 5 to 8 days. And if your present goal is just to improve your health, and at that point, that's all, then read no further. And that's where they can step down. If you, for example, right here, there are a couple of presentation videos they might want to look at. If you watched all of them, it'd be an hour and 24 minutes. But you could just watch one. If you did everything in its entirety, it'd be 6 hours and 55 minutes, and by that time your products would arrive and you'd be more familiar with what to expect. However, there's a second type of a person who says, you know, I'd also like to bless nonprofits and orphans. Can you tell me about them again? How's that work? And so this is the information that they would need, and then they're done. If you're happy at this level, then read no further. Thanks for helping end death from malnutrition, etc. And they can step aside and start taking the products and start noting the wonderful results. The third kind of a member is a person who says, you know, I'd like to get my products discounted to the point of being free. I've heard that's possible. Explain to me how these credits work, the For Free program. And so they can go on and look at 13 BP0, 14 BP0, 17, 18. And then basically at this point, if all you wish to do at this point is to get discounts on your products, then read no further, and they're happy campers. So those are the members. Eventually, though, they'll want to upgrade if they're interested in building the business. And we don't want them to upgrade until they can either start following this program on their own, at their own pace as students. Then they can open a champion account. We used to call them associate accounts. Or if they're ready to be mentored. If they're looking as an apprentice for a mentor who will hold their hand and do everything for them and with them, at that point they could then, a week or two into that business period, they could then upgrade to the champion account, the associate account. And that would be the person who says, you know, I'd like to get my products paid for by Manatech. I understand they'll send me some bonus checks, and some of them could be pretty nice. And it also permits me as a champion to earn some of the incentives. Usually Manatech has a cruise one year and then a fancy resort the next year and then a cruise another year. And we've gone on virtually all of them. We love them. My wife loves to have fun, and they're both fantastic. And so this is basically what you do if you are interested in getting your products paid for by Manatech and earning some of the incentives. And then some of us go on, they say, you know, this actually works. The products are significant. They're making a wonderful difference. I love how I feel on the products. I can see where there'd be a whole lot of money that could be made. And I've earned some credits and I've earned some small bonus checks. How do I start earning the big money? I'd like all my expenses to be paid for, my mortgage, my food, my gasoline. And this has kind of been our situation since about 1996, thereabouts. Took us a couple years to really get into the big money, but it was there. And this is a sequence that you'll probably follow in terms of the handouts, at the GPS handouts. The GPS itself, of course, which I've mentioned up above, you'll want to print out the mileage log. What do you do? The excuses, the price lists, the presentations, the different presentations, what to watch out for, the health inventory, and the 107-day phone follow-up, your choice of options. So that's a sequence of the handouts that you'll print out, become familiar with. And then, of course, you want to continue with 22 BP0. You want to save your receipts for everything. You want to start using a mileage log. Take you 6 minutes to memorize 3 responses, 15 minutes to watch the napkin presentation. You want to practice these things a couple times, etc. Take 5 minutes and review the agreement between apprentice and mentor. Make a list of 15 local and 5 long-distance friends. Get a schedule book. Open a separate bank account for $25, $50, so you can start paying for your expenses and having them as a tax deduction, as a business expense. Obviously, you want a computer. You know, print out the price list, the calendars, and basically you get number 1 through 39 BP0 tasks accomplished. We're going to have a kickoff party, and you're going to be ready to be trained. And that's explained at the how the money works, the shower of blessings, the mentoring and the training. And so congratulations, well done. You're ready to take the next step. You're ready to begin the BP1 training with your mentor, your teacher. And so what that entails is we have the party, they take some photographs, make sure everything's done and we're ready to begin, and you've really fulfilled your obligations, 1 through 39 BP0 tasks. You do those on your own. That proves to us that you're self-disciplined, you're hungry, you can get the job done, you're sincere, you really want this. A lot of people like the money, but they don't want to have to work for it. And you know, talk's cheap. And so this is kind of a way for you to qualify yourself, self-qualify yourself there. And say, I'm worthy of your time and attention. I want you to hold my hand, make sure I really do this right, and get the job done and become qualified so I can train my people. So these are the tasks that you'll do on your own for the next 28 days. There's a different one every day. Every business period ends on a Friday, and so day 1 is Saturday, and it's basically catch-up. We don't work on Sundays, so day 3 would be Monday. And we figure we'll get you started with the common mistakes videos. If you go to weeksglobal.com, click on videos, then you'll see the common mistakes. We don't want you to sink the ship before we even have a chance to push away from the dock. So before we teach you what works, we're going to teach you what doesn't work. The 87 common mistakes that we all seem to make. And if you've been in this business for a while, you'll probably chuckle and laugh about some of them, because yeah, we've all screwed up this way, and we figure if we can prevent you from messing up from the beginning, you'll have a much happier experience. And so we're going to start you off on day 3 with the first 15 things that you don't want to do, and then day 4 is a Tuesday. We'll go from 16 to 45. On Wednesday from 45 to 75, and finish them up on Thursday, so you'll know what not to do, and then we can start teaching you what works, what does work. And on Friday you get a hold of The Undeniable Destiny by Linda Castor, the story of the company. Read chapter 1, and then on day 8, Saturday, you go to your mymanapages.com site. On day 10, you start making a dream board, get in on some of the conference calls, another dream board. We can wait a little bit on the Vista print, the business cards. You can get them if you want them, but I would recommend checking with your upline, because we have some new websites on there, and how we want to approach that is a little bit different. Day 14, there's some wonderful tax videos that you'll want to watch, because you'll be blown away with the advantages, the tax advantages of being self-employed. On day 15, Saturday, we're about halfway through the training, and meanwhile you're spending an hour a day doing these little tasks, conference call, catch up, we'll finish up on some of the tax videos, etc. And so by the last day of the training, day 28, we have that kickoff party again, and your 2 apprentices, you'll begin training the next day, your business builders. Meanwhile, during these 28 days, these 4 weeks, each week you'll get together with your mentor as an apprentice 3 times each week. A unit is like a morning, which may or may not include breakfast, or an afternoon, which may or may not include lunch, or an evening, which may or may not include dinner. But it's a larger chunk of time, maybe 3 or 4 hours, so that you guys can get together and go to a Chamber of Commerce leads group, or an after-hours party, or go to a open house, a business open house or bank, or go to a festival, a harvest festival, or some kind of a parade, or just to interact in some type of a community activity, so that you can see how your mentor interacts with people, and you just tag along and watch him or her in action, talking with people, getting their phone numbers, getting their email addresses, setting up an appointment, setting up a time for presentation. So this first week we're going to learn how to effectively approach other people. And the first time you get together that week, because again, you'll get together 3 times that week. It might be a Monday afternoon, might be a Wednesday evening, it might be a Saturday morning, whatever fits your schedules. You sit down together and say, okay, I'd like to, let's plug into this. It's kind of like signing up for the fall semester in college. you set out your schedule and your classes, and you're going to show up because your mentor is going to and get involved in your life and invest his time and his money and that kind of stuff for you, and he's hoping that you'll take this seriously. So we go over goals and expectations the first time we get together. The compensation plan, kind of make sure you understand how the money works, and then after a day or two you'll enroll as a champion. You'll upgrade to the position of champion, which is a $4.99, and that gets you about $630 worth of products. You can come in at $9.95. It's the same business in a box, but basically at $9.99 you get over about $1,200 worth of products. Is a great deal. And then you'll set up an automatic order. You'll adjust your profiles and your preferences. You'll become familiar with your mana pages, so you get your own website, and the rules and regulations, the policies, and we'll call a couple of your prospects and practice on responding, what do you do when somebody asks you. And then the second time you get together, we'll review the tracking sheet, which is how your mentor can keep track of your progress during your hour alone at home, that 1 hour that you're dedicating to getting those tasks done on your own. And he'll be tracking that, and you'll be reporting on how you're doing there. We'll start setting up appointments, how to do that, and do some more role playing, attend some of those community events, pancake breakfasts, sporting events, wherever we have a chance to interact with people. Maybe show up for the harmonica players, maybe there's a harmonica club or a stamp collectors club, and walk in, hey, welcome, fresh blood, what do you do? Well, what do you do? And all of a sudden you got a bunch more prospects. Some more role playing, some more community events, and the third time we get together that first week, just more of the same. So by the end of the first week, you know how to approach people effectively. Now the second week, we focus on how to do an effective presentation. And again, at weeksglobal.com, click on the documents. Number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I think, are the different presentations. One is show freedom, one is show health, one is show, for the athletes, etc. So we'll do some more role playing on that and start presenting the opportunity and help people understand the commitment and the guarantee, their options, the shower of blessings, what to watch out for, and so then the second time we get together that week, just more of the same. We can do some long distance presentations, continue presenting the opportunity, and the third time we get together that week, that last time, just more of the same. And so by the end of the second week, you not only know how to approach people effectively, you know how to do an effective presentation so that people will want to open their own account. So, of course, the third week is how to enroll prospects into the right position at the right level. The first time we get together that week, we do some more role playing. We go through all this stuff and the commitment to each other, open a member account, and send them home with some material and do some more role playing. Second time we get together that week is just basically more of the same. We'll start enrolling more prospects, third prospect to fourth prospect, support the enrollees, and then we're done. The last week we focus on following up, how to make sure they get good results, because our goal is not to enroll people. Our goal is to make sure they fulfill their dreams, their hopes and their dreams. If it's physical or financial or whatever it is, performance, etc., we want to make sure that they fulfill their dreams, because if they do, they won't shut up. They're going to tell everybody. And that's what we're after. That's how the business grows. What's the point of enrolling people if they end up quitting, if they're disappointed, if they don't know what to do next? That's why we need to hold their hand. And the enrolling process, that's just the beginning. We want to make sure 6 months later they are blown away delighted. And that's how the business will grow and just take off from there. So the fourth week we do the follow-up. The first time we get together that week, we do some more role playing. We learn what to do and what to say. And we finish up here, and then the last time we just tie up some loose ends. So congratulations. You've learned and put into action the GPS. Hope you had a good time and enjoyed learning what you can now share with those newly enrolled. Now tomorrow, you can count this as BP1 and keep hunting, or if you found your 2 all-stars, you begin your BP2. You become the mentor for your 2 apprentices and the teacher for your own students or product takers. Mentor and teach them well. Keep following the sequence yourself. The power is in the sequence. Your mentor remains available to continue assisting you. Just let them know. Blessings to you. So then, BP2, you turn around and you train your 2 the way you were trained. And so this is basically a reminder of what you'll be doing. Then BP3, you can catch your breath because the 2 that you trained are now going to train their 2. You're available, of course, to help them, but this gives you a chance to write out your goals, affirmations, borrow some more DVDs, review the tax advantages. You might want to subscribe to manitax.com or TaxBot, Sandy Botkin. You write down some dates here and write out your dreams and become familiar with Success Track. You might pick a name for your company, learn more about this amazing industry, show some more presentations, make a list of why you love Manitech. So these are a bunch of things you can do during BP3. Then BP4, you go to your 3rd leg. I guess we call the fella Schnickelfritz and say, hey, Schnickelfritz, you've been on these products about 3 months. You know they work. You're getting great results. I need somebody that wants to learn to be a leader. I need somebody that's at the top of the leg and wants to make a whole lot of money. And I will actually mentor you if you'd like. So you don't have to grope in the dark. It's not the blind leading the blind. We actually have a sequence that you can follow, which will assure your success and your delight. So he says, yeah, train me. So BP4, you train them, and that's when you become a national director. You get the vacations, a weekend getaway. BP5, now you're on standby to assist your apprentices, the leader in leg 1 and leader in leg 2, and now you got this fella Schnickelfritz who's now turning around to train his 2, and you're there on standby to help him. And then BP6, you mentor your last leg. You only ever need 4 legs. So here's your 4th leader, and you go to Giffy and say, hey, Giffy, you're at the top of leg 4, and I need somebody that wants to make a whole lot of money. The sky is the limit, and I'll train you. You've been on the products about 5 or 6 months. You know the stuff works. What do you say? And he says, great, let's go. I got a bunch of people that need this stuff and want to make money at the same time. So you apprentice your 4th leg, and then basically you're done. BP7, you just want to assist them and make sure that everybody's staying on the system, everybody's following the sequence. BP8, you're bounced up now as a presidential director, and then the wonderful results. BP0, when you enrolled sometime into that business period, it doesn't count toward the incentives, as I explained, and how the money works. But and therefore, it's like a free month. It's a free 28 days, and you can kind of practice. That's when you get your tasks done, those 1 through 39 BP0 tasks. And then, if you get it all done, you're ready to be trained, and this will take 5% of your time. And we figure in 28 days, there's 672 hours. Of course, you have to sleep, you got to eat, you got to go to work if you have a job, etc. But it still leaves quite a bit of time where you can start building a big business. And once this is making more in a month than what you're making in a year, or it's making as much in a month as you're making in a month, then you have some options. Your busiest month, of course, is going to be when you turn around and you train your 2. That's going to take 8% of your time. And then month 3 is kind of a free month. As we mentioned, month 4, you pick up your last, your leg 3 leader, your apprentice to mentor and during BP4. And then you get kind of that month off again for BP5. And then your last leader to be trained in leg 4, you pick him up BP6. And if you've trained 4 people well, and they want to stick with you for a year, you'll be unbelievably wealthy. In fact, 8 periods from now, If you invest these 174 hours wisely, you will have helped 37,000 friends, qualified for all the incentives, saved the lives of 37,000 orphans, earned approximately $264,000, blessed your nonprofits, churches, and you'll finally have attained time and financial freedom. So that's what we have to offer. And if you want to follow the system, you'll be delighted with the results.